Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about the core. Now, oftentimes when we think about the core, we often think about the abdominal muscles. And when we think about exercises pertaining to the core, we often think about the crunches. And there are whole lots of different variations and modifications of the crunches. Now, I would like to think about the core as a guy-wire system. The core as a guy-wire system, right? Now, not many of us have heard about that term. Some people know about it as the guide system, some people know about it as the guidance system. But a guy wire system really and pretty much is a set of ropes or wires or cords with tension. And they have tension in order to provide support, stability, and direction for a freestanding structure. It is a freestanding structure. In other words, without these guy wires, it will topple over. So I've drawn something here to show you what it really looks like. So this is the freestanding structure that I'm talking about. This is the pole. And when we're driving around the place or passing, looking at the street sides, and we see these huge poles and they're surrounded by wires, and these wires are attached to the pole at different angles, at different directions, at different lengths. These wires are responsible for really helping to keep that freestanding structure in an upright position. Right? Now they provide support, stability, and direction for that freestanding structure. Without these guy wires, that freestanding structure will topple over, just like what you see here on this paper. Without these guy wires, there are no guy wires on this illustration here. This freestanding structure that was once like this will now begin to look like this. And that's exactly how the muscles of the core operate. Now, even those muscles that are not directly attached or inserted into the spine, but they are still closely related to the spine, they still provide that support, they still provide that stability, they still provide that direction with regard to the spine. Now, when we think about the core is not only muscles that are made up from at the front. The core also includes muscles at the side, it also includes muscles at the back, it also includes muscles at the top, muscles at the bottom, the diaphragm, and the pelvic floor. All of those muscles of the midsection makes up the core. Now, these muscles are very important. They are postural muscles. In other words, just like the guy wire system, that with these wires, they have to have tension. And if with any of these wires, if they lose tension even for a moment, the whole integrity of that freestanding structure will be compromised. So they have to have that tension for a prolonged period of time. And so it is with the muscles of our core. They help to keep the body in an upright position. And the freestanding structure with regards to the core is the spine. So these muscles help to keep the body in an upright position. Whether we're standing, whether we're sitting, whether we're running, we're jogging, we're sprinting, these muscles are constantly engaged. In other words, they are endurance type muscles. They operate well with endurance type training. They respond well to endurance because that's pretty much that's what they function in. They function in an environment of endurance because they are postural muscles. They have to be working, they have to be engaged for a period of time, for a prolonged period of time in order to keep the body upright, right? Now, what happens with regards to the core, many times when we think about working the core, we often think about strengthening. So we strengthen certain muscles and neglect and reject other muscles, and we strengthen one particular set of muscles over and over and over again. And what will happen is that there will be an imbalance. You end up with a muscle imbalance, and you're wondering why your back hurts, and you're wondering why you can't hold this object or why you can't stand for prolonged periods of time. But that's because you overwork one particular set of muscles and neglect the rest. And this is what it looks like on illustration. I know I'm not really such a good draw, but this is what it looks like on paper. This. So what we have here is that these muscles on this side, we strengthen these muscles, we build them up, we take our protein shake and we work them and work them and work them and get them really strong and buff. And these muscles are neglected. They are small, they are puny, they are light, and these muscles are very over dominant. And this is the freestanding structure. As you can see here, these muscles are pulling the freestanding structure over to that side. You have a muscle imbalance. And it really compromises the integrity of the spine. And you end up with a whole heap of lower back pain, you end up with a lot of back problems. Not saying that this is the only reason why we have back problems or back pain, but this is an important thing to really consider with regards to strengthening the muscles of the core. You don't just focus on one set of muscles, and you don't just focus on strengthening. I'm not saying that strengthening is bad. Strengthening is good, but at the same time, you want to also emphasize on endurance. Let it be a staple in your exercise regime. Let it be a staple in your exercise program. You do a lot of endurance type training. And some examples are like planks, pull-up presses, bird dog exercises, bear crawls, suitcase carries, overhead carries, farmers walk, all these different types of exercise. They are stability type exercises, and the core muscles, they function really well with stabilization type exercise because that is what they do. They stabilize the spine. So when you think about exercises for the core, you want to check them out first in endurance type stuff, build them with endurance, condition them with endurance, and then it can progress to strengthening exercises. And also bear in mind that you don't want to just strengthen one set, you want to strengthen the whole thing as well. So when you're thinking about strength exercise, you want to strengthen, okay, I was going to go ahead and do crunches and work out my crunches and lift buff with a 6-pack or 8-pack or 12-pack or 18-pack, whatever pack you want. No, you want to strengthen all the muscles around the spinal area, right? Now, there's much more to say with regards to the core. But what I want to leave with it is the core muscles respond very well to endurance type training. And when working the core muscles, you want to include endurance type training, especially as a part of the workout program. Not so much the strengthening, you can do the strengthening, that's fine. But definitely, if I were to emphasize anything, I can't stop emphasizing endurance type training for these core muscles because they are postural muscles. They respond very well to endurance type training because they have to be working over long periods of time. Where it is that you're sitting around the computer for a prolonged period of time, they are constantly engaged. You're constantly engaged until they probably lie down in a supine position, But as long as you're upright, as long as you're standing, you're walking, you're jumping, you're skipping, whatever upright position that you're in, they're constantly engaged and they're holding for prolonged periods of time. So in order for you to really maintain the integrity of the spine and you want to protect the spine and you want to really protect the whole midsection, I emphasize and I encourage you to continue to do endurance type training. It's very important for these postural muscles, your core. All right, so I'm going to leave that with you today. And before we even go, just like these muscles, I mentioned the guy wire system. That the importance of the guy wire system is to stabilize. The importance of the guy wire system is to offer support. It's to offer protection. It's to offer direction. When you think about all these different things, and without this guy wire system, the freestanding structure will topple over, just like what you see here on this paper. It will topple over. In other words, it will no longer function. It will no longer function in the capacity that it's supposed to function in because it doesn't have the guy wire system. And so it is with our relationship with Jesus Christ. Without Jesus, we're going to topple over. Without Jesus, we lack direction. Without Jesus, we lack that support that we need. Without Jesus, we lack that stabilization that we need. Without Jesus, we lack the direction in our lives. The Bible says, do not lean unto your own understanding. In all the ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. So I encourage you today to continue to put your trust, your faith, and your hope in Jesus Christ. Continue to maintain your relationship with God, because without God, without Jesus in your life, you lack direction. You won't function in the capacity that you ought to function in. You will have lost your purpose.